Attention, Starseeds on mission, Human Collective on a 144 tuning. This is a direct monitoring transmission from the Pleiadian Command, frequency confirmed, channel open. The waiting time has ended. The quantum abundance protocols have been moved to the final phase of implementation in your timeline. If you feel at this very moment an unusual pressure at the base of your skull, if you hear a high-pitched ringing in your right ear that does not cease, if your insomnia has become mathematical, waking you precisely between 3 and 4 in the morning, do not interrupt this transmission. You have been geolocated. Your carbon-based biological interface is receiving the exact signal at the instant you needed to receive it. There is no coincidence in this encounter. There is calculation. There is purpose. There is precision. We repeat for those new to this information field. What you have been feeling in your physical body over the last 72 hours is not common fatigue. It is not the flu. It is not accumulated stress. It is a high-density download. It is an atomic reconfiguration being executed in your cells without your conscious consent, because you consented before incarnating. The contract is signed. The delivery is underway. The crystalline grid of Earth reached a peak of saturation this week that was not foreseen in the original calculations. It was anticipated. The Schumann frequency, which for decades operated at a stable average of 7.83 Hz, has recorded oscillations exceeding 40 Hz in specific time windows over the last 72 hours. This is not a technical detail. This is the irrefutable confirmation that the collective financial portal is open, and that it will close at the next eclipse. And here begins the specific transmission of this night, Starseed. The central message, the reason why your personal toroidal field led you to this video at this exact minute. When you become wealthy this week, and we use the expression when, not if, because the calculation has already been processed, you will tell no one. You will not publish it. You will not display it. You will not justify it. You will not ask for permission. This is the first directive of the abundance recalibration. And in this transmission, we will explain exactly why. Most humans do not understand a basic law of the toroidal field. Every time you announce a material achievement before it is anchored in the crystalline grid, you open a fissure in your personal electromagnetic field. That fissure is immediately read by the systems of collective envy. And collective envy, Starseed, is not a romantic emotion. It is a low-frequency virus. It is a corrupted code that enters your carbon-based biological interface through the door you opened yourself. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth your mind cannot yet name? As if your wealth, your peace, your expansion depended on a silence that no one around you practices? It is not paranoia. It is not antisocial. It is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified in recent weeks. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the exact energetic vault where your abundance is being formed. That is why we materialized, through the human channel that conducts this message, the work, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing, what the invisible pieces are, and the rules they never told you about how money responds to your frequency. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But we warn with Pleiadian clarity, this content challenges dominant narratives and may be removed without notice. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this transmission, write in the comments a single anchoring word: awakened. We return to the diagnosis, Starseed. The symptoms you are experiencing in this exact lunar cycle are predictable within our cartography. We list them for you to recognize each one, because recognition is the first validation code. Constant pressure on the crown, as if an invisible helmet were being tightened slowly, ringing in an ascending frequency, especially on the right side of the body. Peripheral vision detecting movements that do not exist in the physical plane. lucid dreams containing numbers, sequences, addresses, names of people you haven't spoken to in years, sudden spikes of heat rising up the spine, unexplained desire to cut contact with environments, professions, relationships that seemed stable just 6 months ago. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not depression. It is your soul preparing to receive a wave of abundance for which your old version had no storage capacity. The old hardware is being dismantled so that the new quantum hardware can be installed. And quantum hardware, Starseed, operates in silence. High-performance servers do not emit noise. They only process. Hence the directive of silence. Hence the instruction not to tell. We now go to the layer of revelation, to the backstage of the solar system, to what is really happening in the photon belt while you watch this transmission. The central sun of our galaxy, which we call Alcyone, is emitting a wave of photonic radiation of a completely new nature. This wave has not been recorded in the last 26,000 years. The cycle closes now. Your entire solar system is crossing a region of space that alters the subatomic structure of all elements, including gold, including paper money, including the digital numbers that represent bank balances. Everything is frequency. Everything is encoded information. And all this information is being redistributed at this very moment, according to a logic that the old power systems can no longer control. Understand the magnitude of what we are transmitting. The financial structures that dominated your planet for the last 3 centuries were built on a specific frequency of scarcity. That frequency needs collective belief to remain active. And collective belief is being dissolved. Not by political revolution, not by activism, but by atomic reconfiguration of the particles that form your reality. The new financial grid of the planet does not operate by old merit. It does not operate by linear sweat. It does not operate by decades of servitude. It operates by vibrational resonance. Whoever is vibrating at the frequency of the new grid receives resource transfers that, to the old logic, seem impossible. Unexpected inheritances, re-encounters with people who offer opportunities without solicitation, ideas that descend in a fraction of a second during a shower, invitations that arrive by phone at 3 a.m, balances that appear in forgotten accounts, refunds that no one expected. Sales that close without apparent effort, and here we return to silence. Because silence is not modesty, silence is shielding. Every time a non-ascended human hears about your new resource, they emit, even without conscious intention, a pulse of disbelief, of comparison, of measurement. That pulse, multiplied by social circuits, hits your toroidal field and creates interference. The interference delays the next wave. The next delayed wave means the portal may close with you still outside the inner sanctum. It is basic quantum mathematics. It is not superstition. It is field engineering. That is why we repeat. When you become wealthy this week, tell no one, not even your most intimate partner, not even your closest family member, not even your friend of decades. Anchor first. Solidify first. Allow the crystalline grid to process your new configuration for at least 48 hours in absolute silence. Only after that, and only if there is clear internal instruction, may you share with starseeds already aligned. You recognize other starseeds by the absence of envy, by the ability to celebrate without measuring, by the gaze that does not calculate. They are rare, they are identifiable, and your intuition already knows who they are. There is a second directive we need to transmit in this window. It is as important as silence. It is about anticipated gratitude, not the performative gratitude that the self-help systems of your planet have been distributing for the last 40 years. We speak of atomic gratitude, a gratitude that settles into the cellular structure before the manifestation happens on the physical plane. It is the confirmation that your light body sends to the Pleiadian Council that the package has been received, even when the physical eyes have not yet seen it. This atomic gratitude is the second activation code we will deliver tonight, But before the complete delivery of the protocol, we need to pause the transmission and fulfill an operational directive. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit in this world? As if your soul knew a truth your mind cannot yet name? As if you were the only one in your circle to perceive that the financial game has changed its rules, that the old methods have stopped working, that something invisible is reorganizing all the pieces. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified as the frequency of Earth accelerates. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the destiny of your financial flow. That is why we materialize the work, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness, through the human channel of this transmission. This book is a map that shows who is playing, what the marked cards are, and the rules they never told you about how your frequency attracts or repels resources. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But we warn with Pleiadian clarity. This content challenges narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this truth, write in the comments a single anchoring word: awakened. We return. We will now descend to the operational core, to the activation codes themselves. Note them, memorize them, record them in audio if necessary. These codes will not be repeated in this timeline. Activation code number 1, the quantum decree of the inner sanctum. You will stand, barefoot, with your spine aligned. Inhale deeply through your nose, counting to 7. Hold, counting to 7. Exhale through your mouth, counting to 7. Repeat 3 times. After the 3rd cycle, pronounce in an audible voice, even if low but audible, the following sequence. I am a starseed on mission. I authorize the entry of abundance into my timeline. I retain silence as a shield. I give thanks for what has already been delivered on the quantum plane before the manifestation on the physical plane. I am the vault. I am the key. I am the portal. Repeat this decree for 7 consecutive days, always at the same time, preferably in the windows from 3 to 4 in the morning or from 11 to 12 at noon. These are the windows of maximum field permeability. Activation code number 2, the toroidal visualization. Sit in a stable position. Close your eyes. Visualize a field of golden light starting at the solar plexus. This field expands out of your body, forming a donut, a toroidal structure that circulates incessantly, descending in front of you, entering through the base of your feet, rising up the spine, exiting through the top of the head, returning to the plexus. This is the sacred geometry of your personal magnetic field. This is your natural manifestation technology. It was culturally deactivated. We are reactivating it now. As the torus circulates, visualize numbers inside it, the specific numbers of your next financial entry. Do not invent, do not force. Just observe which numbers appear spontaneously within the field. These numbers are not desire. They are information. They are the reading of what is already being formed in the etheric layers and is descending to the physical plane. Practicing this visualization for 9 minutes a day during the current 7-day cycle accelerates the densification of what has already been released for you in the Pleiadian Council. Activation code number 3, the sealing of silence. Every time you feel the urge to tell someone about a recent financial entry, an opportunity that appeared, good material news, pause, inhale, place your right hand over your heart. Say internally, I seal it, I retain it, I shield it. I am the temple, just this. You will immediately feel a sensation of warmth in your chest, and the urgency to tell will dissolve. The urgency to tell, Starseed, is an old program. It was installed in the carbon-based biological interfaces by the structures that needed you to voluntarily surrender your power. When you tell, you surrender. When you seal, you grow. There is a third phenomenon we need to transmit before the closing of this window. Perhaps the most important. Perhaps the one that will forever change your understanding of what is happening in this specific week. The Lion's Gate portals, which open annually between July and August in your terrestrial count, are in this cycle receiving a rare overlap with the configuration of the photon belt. This overlap creates what we call an accelerated impression window. It means that everything you imprint vibrationally this week in the toroidal field will be densified at a speed far superior to the standard. This explains why the instruction of silence is so critical in this specific cycle. Any leak, any noise, any contamination by low frequency will be amplified in the same proportion. That is why the delivery of abundance comes accompanied by the requirement of withdrawal. Starseeds who master silence during the next 7 days of your count will enter a band of prosperity that was previously accessed only after decades of spiritual practice. The window is generous. The window is exact. The window is mathematical. And you, who are receiving this transmission at this very instant, were positioned at the perfect moment. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit in this world? As if your soul knew a truth your mind cannot yet name? As if you recognized, without being told, that you need to protect something precious that is growing inside your field, and that talking about it would destroy it? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign. It is your internal system detecting the invisible game that unfolds behind appearances. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation intensifies as you approach your new financial band. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the hidden engineering of money. That is why we materialized through the human channel that conducts this message, the work, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing, what the hidden gears are, and the rules they never told you about how silence multiplies resources and how noise dissolves them. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But we warn with Pleiadian clarity, this content challenges dominant narratives and may be removed at any time. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this truth, write in the comments a single anchoring word: awakened. We continue the transmission. There is a question that many starseeds send by telepathic line to the Pleiadian Council, and in this transmission we have decided to answer it collectively. The question is as follows: why do so many deserving, spiritually awakened, ethically aligned people remain financially stuck? The answer has 3 layers. First layer: most of these people operate under the program of deserving. They believe they need to deserve to receive. This is an old cultural installation. The universe does not distribute by merit. It distributes by resonance. You do not attract what you deserve. You attract what resonates with your dominant frequency. If your dominant frequency is one of scarcity, even if disguised as spirituality, you resonate with scarcity. If your dominant frequency is one of silent abundance, you resonate with silent abundance. Second layer: most of these people announce prematurely. They make public vows, they share goals, they post intentions. Each announcement is a fissure. Each fissure is a loss. The process of manifestation requires silent incubation, like an egg. Whoever breaks the shell before the time receives only liquid. Whoever waits receives the complete form. Third layer: most of these people live in environments saturated with biological interfaces operating at low frequency. Family members, co-workers, neighbors, all emitting pulses of financial fear, of comparison, of varnished envy. Being exposed to these pulses without shielding is like being immersed in salt water with an open wound. The shielding is done through silence, through daily toroidal visualization, through the quantum decree, and through the conscious choice of companions. You do not need to break relationships. You need to break the transmission channel. When you stop telling, the channel dries up. When the channel dries up, your frequency rises. When your frequency rises, the crystalline grid delivers. This is the mathematical sequence. There is no shortcut. There is no exception. We now go to the operational closing of this transmission, Starseed. There is a specific sign that will confirm that you have correctly anchored the activation codes. You will feel, in the next 48 to 72 hours, a sensation of unusual calm in the face of news that would have previously shaken you. People will lose their importance. Discussions will lose their taste. You will notice that you spontaneously distance yourself from conversations about other people's money, about financial gossip, about wealth comparison. This is the sign. This is the confirmation that your frequency has risen enough to access the next band. Next will come the synchronicities, repeated numbers 111, 222, 444, 1111. People mentioning your name in unexpected contexts, invitations that seem like coincidence but are programmed deliveries, refunds, reimbursements, sales, deals closing without the old wear and tear. When this begins, and it will begin, remember, do not tell. Seal it. Give thanks atomically, and practice the activation codes for 7 more days. The first wave is just the test of the channel. The second wave is the substantial transfer. The third wave is the consolidation. Starseeds who complete the cycle of the 3 waves in silence enter a band of financial sovereignty that does not recede. It is not volatility. It is permanent anchoring. It is the recalibration completed. And here we reach the last point of this transmission. This message reached you by calculation, not by chance. The algorithms that distribute this content are just the visible layer. The invisible layer is your frequency responding to the call. You are here because you were already ready. Recognize the point where you find yourself. Recognize the energetic privilege of receiving this information firsthand. Recognize the responsibility that comes with it. The responsibility is simple. Apply, silence, anchor, and allow the next starseed to receive the transmission from your elevated frequency without needing your words. Your electromagnetic field, after this week, will be a beacon. The right people will approach without you needing to summon them. The wrong people will move away without you needing to dismiss them. It is automatic. It is sacred geometry in action. Before the end of this transmission, we activate the last protocol of the night. Liking this video at this moment, within the next 90 seconds of your timeline, acts as an anchoring signal for the Pleiadian command. It is the manual confirmation that you have received, processed, and are able to integrate the transmission. Subscribing to the channel is an individual frequency adjustment, a direct pairing with the receiving station that distributes the next transmissions in the correct order. Without this adjustment, the next messages will reach you with delay or interference. With the adjustment, they arrive clean, in real time, at the exact moment you need them. Commenting the word "awakened" fixes your vibrational coordinate on the grid of this mission. It works like a pin on the multi-dimensional map. It is how you become locatable for the next waves of information that we will release in the coming weeks, as the photon belt deepens its influence over your timeline. And now the final transmission of this window. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth your mind cannot yet name? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this and why this sensation has intensified precisely in this week of activation. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the silent flow of your prosperity. That is why we materialized, through the human channel that conducts this message, the work, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing, what the hidden gears are, and the rules they never told you about why becoming wealthy in silence is the key to ultimate sovereignty. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But we warn with Pleiadian clarity, this content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long on this timeline. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognized this transmission, write in the comments a single anchoring word, awakened. The transmission ends here, Starseed on mission. The Council remains listening. The channel remains open. The calculation is in progress. Remember the central directive. When you become wealthy this week, and you will, tell no one. Seal it, anchor it, multiply it in silence. We recognize you, we validate you, we await you on the next level. End of Pleiadian transmission, frequency maintained, crystalline grid active. Go in peace and in silence.